Welcome to Forge 50, where we're not chasing perfection, we're forging better men and women, one day, one decision, and one pillar at a time. My name's Tracy, and I'm really glad you decided to join us today. Now, some of you may have found me through TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and you've been following some of my videos. This past week, you've seen the P90X that I've done. And first of all, I want to thank you for your encouragement and all your support. It's been really interesting to read some of the comments. But this is why I continue to do that. And if some of you decide to do some of this P90X along with me and get started, or do it again, just like I'm doing, let me know. All right. Your encouragement means more to me than you will ever know. I decided I wanted to do something different. And once a week, I'm going to sit down behind the microphone and simply talk about the past week. I'm going to talk about the victories, those failures, the victories, the failures, the struggles, the lessons. And also those funny moments. Those funny moments that, you've probably seen them on some of the video, but those funny moments, the setbacks. And hopefully a little growth along the way. What is Forge 50? Now, Forge 50 is built around these 5 pillars of self-improvement. Those are physical, mental, spiritual, relationship, and financial. Now, I believe these 5 pillars are the foundation of becoming, becoming the best versions of ourselves. But let me tell you something right now. This podcast isn't about me telling you how to live your life. I'm not an expert. I'm not a life coach. And I'm not standing on some stage pretending I've got everything figured out. I'm a 57-year-old guy who still struggles with every one of those pillars. Some weeks I'll win. Some weeks I'll fail. Some weeks I'll be motivated. Some weeks I'll be lazy. When I say some weeks, I also mean some days. Some weeks, life is going to knock me flat on my back. Every single week, I'm going to keep showing up. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my wife and my family. And if sharing my journey helps just one person make one better decision, take one more walk, say one more prayer, repair one relationship, or make one better financial choice, then every workout, every setback, every embarrassing story, every failure will have been worth it. Okay? Many of you know that companies occasionally send me products to test, to review. You may have seen some of that. You'll probably hear me mention these products from time to time. Not because I'm trying to sell you something, but because they're part of my journey. If a weight vest helps my workouts, if a recovery tool helps my Achilles, if I find something that generally makes one of these 5 pillars better, I'll tell you about it. But I'm not making you a promise today. You'll always get my honest opinion. If I love it, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll tell you that too. If I'm still testing it, I'll tell you I don't know yet. Product. There are some products on here that I have tested, that I have used, some that I did not like. The first time I tried it, I walked up the stairs with it, and it's got 30 pounds with the little sandbags. And just walking up the stairs, I was like, wow, that's a game changer right there. This week's story, Basement Beast. Now, back in April, I started a program called Basement Beast. And it lasted 12 weeks. It lasted 13 weeks. Because I had one week where I only did 1 or 2 workouts, and then I just reset the whole week. And on July 17th, I finished that program. I finished it. That felt incredible. Not because I was perfect, but because I finished it. And I think that might have been one of the first programs that I can remember finishing all the way. It only took me 57 years. Now, around that same time, I also started a program called None to Run, N-O-N-E. Well, that didn't work out very well. N-O-N-E, None to Run. Or None to, the number 2, Run. And great program. It's very similar to Couch to 5K, but starts off a little bit slower. Like the first week you walk for 5 minutes, then you do a slow jog for 30 seconds, and you walk for 2 minutes. And you do that, I want to say 8 or 10 times. But then each week you progress. You know, the week after that, it's you jog for a minute, then you walk for 2. But week after week, I just kept showing up. Eventually, I got to week 10, where I was running 20 minutes straight. I had done that twice. I've never really considered myself a runner. That was huge. I started thinking, hey, I'm becoming a runner. And it was a good feeling. And I thought, I'm becoming a runner. Then my Achilles and my calf had other plans. After my first 20-minute run, my calf started acting up. It was just some discomfort. Didn't think anything about it. The following week, I ran for the first 20 minutes, and then I felt it. And I was able to finish that run, and that was on a Tuesday. And I thought, well, it's just going to work itself out. Well, then that Thursday, after one of those 20-minute runs, I could barely walk. I decided I'm going to rest it for about a week and a half. After that, I went back out. I ran for a minute. I thought, I think we're back. And then 5 minutes later, well, I was just walking. And my calf reminded me who was actually in charge. Well, back to resting. Rested it for 2 more weeks. Tried it again on July 22nd. I was in Chicago. About 10 minutes into the run, same issue. And if you've ever been injured, you know how frustrating that is. It's like, okay, I'm going to get this. And my mind was saying, let's go. My body says, not today. Instead of quitting, I decided to pivot. I started P90X. Now, I've been wanting to do this again for years. And, I've done it before, but I'd never finished the whole program. Well, Monday was chest and back. No problem. Tuesday, Plyometrics. Now, if you've ever done P90X, you're probably already laughing. Because somebody sat down and asked, how many different ways can we make people jump? Then Tony Horton says, jump knee tucks. Jump knee tucks. Seriously? Jump knee tucks. Those suck. Are you freaking kidding me? Tony, have we met? Do you know what's attached to the bottom of your legs right now? At that point, I wasn't sure if it was exercising or trying out for an orthopedic surgeon. Jump knee tucks and I are not friends. Now, one thing age has taught me, there is a difference between pushing yourself and hurting yourself. Now, when I was 25-year-old me, Tracy, 25-year-old Tracy would have tried to prove something. 57-year-old Tracy wants to still be walking next week, especially after how I felt during those runs. Now, Thursday was yoga. Thursday, yoga, 90 long minutes. The last time I did P90X was around 2009, 2010. I'm convinced Yoga X left emotional scars. I still have night terrors. Sometimes I wake up hearing Tony calmly say, just hold it. No, Tony, I've been holding it for 3 minutes. So this week I skipped it. Not because yoga is important. And no, I'm not flexible. I am not flexible. I need to work on that. But because 90 minutes felt overwhelming. But here's the difference. I didn't quit. I found a 30-minute yoga workout that I think I'll actually stick with. And that is from the Basement Beast program that I did prior to. I didn't do it during then, but it's broken into once each week. So I can use that for the P90X program. That's the plan for this coming week. Adapt. Don't quit. Now Saturday was Kenpo. No injury, no scheduling conflict, no excuse. I was just lazy. There it is. Sometimes the hardest thing we can do is tell ourselves the truth. One missed workout does not ruin a program. Quitting does. My biggest struggle, food is. As you guys can see, I like my food. I like my donuts. But eating has always been my biggest weakness. 4 years ago I did. I quit. I haven't had a cigarette since. I used to drink a lot. Never was an alcoholic. But I rarely drink now. But food is different. It has always been my biggest weakness. I can usually convince myself to exercise. Walking past the cookies, well, some cookies, okay. That's another story. So this week's biggest focus isn't just finishing workout, it's making better choices in the kitchen. Not perfect, just better. One meal, one decision, one day at a time. The 5-pillar check-in. Here's how I grade myself this week. Physical, started P90X, modified workouts, dealing with my Achilles, skipped Kenpo. Mental, learning to be patient with injuries instead of getting frustrated. We've all been injured before. It might have been something small and we get frustrated with ourselves. That is our mental game. And I was very frustrated with myself when that happened during those runs. I was almost at that finish line. And that was the frustrating part. But mentally, we got to think, okay, it's time to pivot. I started thinking, okay, if I can't run, maybe hop on the bike, start doing the bike. Or, do an incline walk. But I think that would probably still do something with the Achilles. But a friend of mine told me that it can take 2 to 3 months for a strain to heal completely. So, 2 to 3 months is August, September, October. I'll try it again in October, see where we're at. But spiritually, I need to spend more intentional time with God this week. That's the spiritual pillar. Relationship. Thankfully, my wife and family will continue to encourage me through this journey. I'm an empty nester. My kids are grown, got grandkids, and they live all throughout the country. But my son, he sees this journey on TikTok, Instagram. They're always encouraged. If you're thinking about starting something, get that support group, whether it's family, friends, whatever. You got to have that support group, accountability partner. Okay, we got to hold each other accountable. That's what drives us. And I do think this next week, because I didn't do ab ripper X at all, I'm going to start doing that this week, and that's going to be kind of comical too. But I got a ways to go. We got to push ourselves. And I'm not trying to get huge. I'm just trying to get a better version of myself. As we get older, things hurt more. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Things hurt more. Or, getting up from a booth after dinner at 57. You're making all these noises as you're getting up. You have grandkids, your granddaughter, your grandson, they want you to chase them. And I want to be able to do that. I want to stick around for a while. I want to see my grandkids grow up. Those are the reasons I do this. The fifth pillar, financial. Continue to build Forge 50 while looking for opportunities to create more income and provide for my family. And there's something else I'm doing. I'm not going to get into it right now, but there's something else I'm also looking into. And we'll go into that a little bit later down the road. Okay, so looking ahead. This coming week, Tuesday, is another round of Plyometrics. We'll see what my Achilles has to say about that. Okay. And I'm replacing the 90-minute yoga session with the 30-minute version. Because if anybody has done the P90X yoga, the very first time I did P90X yoga, I was like, are you kidding me? Because you think yoga is going to be relaxing. I sweated more during Yoga X, the very first time I did it, than I think I've ever done anything else in my life. And I've been in saunas. I've been in hot climates that were like 140 degrees in yoga. Why did they got to do that? You're sweating it anyway. Anyway, get on tangent. I'm replacing the 90-minute yoga session with the 30-minute version. I'm going to focus much harder on nutrition. But most importantly, I'm going to keep showing up. Now, all this is about building a community. That's why I created Forge 50. We are building a community. But before we wrap up, I want you to know this podcast isn't just about me. Right now, it's my story. But who knows where this journey goes? Maybe one day we'll have guests. Could be next week. Could be a couple weeks from now. Could be a year from now. I don't know. Not celebrities. I mean, if they want to join in, they can. But it's not about them. It's not about influencers pretending life is perfect. Just real people. People who struggle with the same 5 pillars. People who have failed. People who have gotten back up. People who are still showing up. Okay? Now, because I think those are the stories that inspire us the most. Maybe one day you'll be sitting in that chair across from me. Or, it may be a chair. It may be, on Zoom or whatever. But only time will tell. So, if this episode has encouraged you in any way, I would love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who might need to hear it. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 pillars is your biggest struggle right now? Is it the physical? Is it the mental, spiritual, relationship, or financial. Leave a comment, send me a message, or connect with me on social media. Let's build a community where we encourage each other, learn from each other, laugh together, and keep each other moving forward. Remember, we are not chasing perfection. No. None of us are perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. And I am far from perfect. If I was perfect, I would have done all 6 workouts this week. But I didn't. I did 3. Okay? Actually, 3.5 maybe. Because I tried plyometrics. And I'm going to keep trying plyometrics. All right? That one I'm not going to give up on. And I'm not giving up on the others. Kenpo, I need to get off my lazy butt and do that on Saturday mornings. Yoga, we're condensing that. But we're not chasing perfection. We're forging better men and women, one day, one decision, one pillar at a time. That's it. So until next week, keep showing up and keep forging forward.